States.
Well, for me, I have a voice, I have a platform, and I have so many kids, and not only kids, but also adults and everybody that kind of look for guidance, and look for someone to kind of lead them in a time where they feel like their voice isn't powerful. And when you see something that's unjust, or you see something that's wrong, or you see something that's trying to divide us, um, as a race, or as a country, then I feel like my voice can be heard and can speak volumes. And especially coming from a point of sports. I live in sports. Without sports, we wouldn't be all here. I wouldn't be talking to you, Rach. You wouldn't be interviewing me. And sports is like, it stops race. Every race comes together to fight for one common goal, and that's to win and to have fun and to have camaraderie and things like that. And for someone, or a body of parties, to try to divide us by using our platform of sport, sport has given me everything that I can ever ask for. I couldn't let that happen.
All right, I'm back. Real quick, let's talk about the LeBron situation, right? And I haven't really looked at a lot of other people's contents or commentaries. I've just seen, post about it, but not really going yet. I'm about to watch the Matt Kellerman, who is one of those bitch ass white liberals that get on my nerves, like Bill Maher and many others, the Young Turks. I don't know. I think it looks like by the headline he went in on LeBron's hypocrisy. I saw Boyce say something too in defense of LeBron, saying he should have his opinion and whatnot, but I think Boyce mixes the context of what's going on here. My issue is not that LeBron has that opinion, but it is very hypocritical. I have same thing to say about Ellen DeGeneres too in another commentary, right? Because she's a hypocrite too. Don't have a problem with her response to her hanging out with Bush, but I have a problem with something that she did to somebody else who shares the same views as Bush. But in regards to LeBron, right? So the dude from the Houston Rockets, general manager, whatever, tweeted the atrocities going on in China. We all know that exists. We all benefit from that. We all buy stuff from China. So we're directly or indirectly connected to that a bit. But more so, these corporations, they benefit way more. These athletes as well. So the NBA is trying to grow their brand. They're trying to get into China. They're trying to get that bag. It's a way for them to get their money up. The same way the NFL is going into Europe and doing what they're doing. And all across of the media, you see commentary from liberals congratulating the people in Hong Kong for their protests and what people saying like, this is what it looks like. You see millions of people out there in the streets protesting, locking shit down, blocking stuff off. Basically, if you don't know why, it's because China's about to crack down on some of that American-ish. Hong Kong got a little bit too progressive and too American in some of their ideas and some of the stuff they were used to, the music, whatever. And China cracking down on that shit, right? And Hong Kong people said, no, we ain't about that life. And then there's other atrocities and things that are bad. But I just want people to say what it is. Just like we saw with ESPN and Jamel Hill, right? Jamel Hill worked for ESPN, a.k.a. Disney. Jamel Hill responded to a fan on how to hurt the NFL. In particular, she was talking about the Dallas Cowboys, who is one of the most profitable teams in the NFL. The NFL has a deal with ESPN, a.k.a. Disney. So it looked bad on the part of Disney/ESPN that one of their underlings, their low-level employees, is telling fans how to hurt another company that they have a relationship with. Billions of dollars are going to be made off these TV contracts over the next however many years, right? So she was fired because she broke company policy and whatnot by doing what she did. But I'm saying that's what it was. It wasn't, this nothing more deep than that. She was hurting their bottom line. She was doing something that was wrong. She needed to be put in check. And they let her go. But just say that. All this other stuff is just, it's nonsense. Same thing with Kaepernick. It's not about kneeling or anything that stuff. The flag. We know that white folks was not coming to the games because they didn't want to see Kaepernick kneeling. They didn't care why, the reason. And the NFL said we're not going to side with Kaepernick over the fans, our fans. Now, if it was a reverse situation where that helped the NFL, of course they would jump on that bandwagon. But the NFL, they just fined the brother $7,000 because he had a man of God, headband on, right? Because they don't want to anger their atheists, who they probably think brings them more money or whatever. And I agree, the NFL is kind of hypocritical because they pick and choose what individual things they want to support, whether it's gun control one year, then it's women's cancer every October every year. Like, they do pick and choose when they want to support stuff and this and that. But I guess it's like, do as I say, not as I do, for the owners versus the players, whatever. But I'm saying that's what it was. The Kaepernick situation is nothing more than they looked at their bottom line being hurt by him kneeling, and they sided with their consumers to say, get out. Now, flash forward to the NBA thing, right? And LeBron James, LeBron, who's been very vocal since his Tamir Rice situation, where he didn't say, he said what he should have said, actually, because he didn't have the information, he didn't know. He got killed a little bit for it, right? And because he didn't want to interject, because that was his backcourt, that was his hometown, it happened there in Ohio. He was at Cleveland at the time. Because he didn't speak to it, a lot of black folks got mad and their feelings about him. But he said the right thing, like, yo, I just don't know. Now, he's more politically activated. He's outside of basketball. He's doing a lot more things with the school in Ohio, and he's doing things with Hollywood, with the shop, with the show. Like, he's building his brand and whatnot, and there's a lot more toes to step on now. So now he got to be careful on what he do. So on the minute when it looked like he's about one of the wokest players in the NBA and he's going to challenge his power, and he got the situation done in California where, he helped Gavin, the governor of California, sign the paperwork to let players in that state get paid for their likeness. He's done those things or whatever, but now he's dealing with a whole different level of big money, right? Like, he's not going to come at Nike. He's not going to come at China. He might talk some ish at the NBA to a point, but we recall LeBron said that if the NBA situation happened like the NFL, that they would kneel, even though standing for the national anthem is a part of their contract, like it's part of their job. They have to do that. Like, that's not negotiable. There's no debate about that. He claimed that he would stand regardless of that, though. A lot of players said that. But what I find to be fuckery and bullshit is that we see that you can speak about injustice in our country, you can talk shit about our politicians and our laws and our rules, but you're going to be silent when it comes to other injustices in other countries, isn't it? Don't liberals always quote Dr. King, injustice here and injustice everywhere and yada yada, and you can't just focus on yourself and all that other nonsense? They quote that often. So instead of being consistent, keeping the same argument, if what we see in America is going wrong with police officers and unarmed shooting is bad, and you can speak on that, you can't speak on China's, who, by all means, their shit is worse. I'd rather deal with our system here than there. That's a no-brainer. But because they don't live there, and because their bosses, the NFL and Nike, let's not forget Nike, because Nike is very important in the situation, because, again, Nike benefits from China's corruption and their inhumane laws and how they treat their people. Nike's able to go over there and do all these factories and become this however $100 million billion company they are, because they get to take advantage of China's situation. But yeah, LeBron should have listened to Laura Ingraham and shut up and dribble on the situation, because he makes himself like an idiot. You can't condemn Trump and America and our politicians and our way of life, but then because there's a financial benefit, again, that's all it is. It's just about the balance. It's about the money. That's all it is. There's a financial benefit to just be quiet about what China's doing and not get into their business. So right now, LeBron and James Harden and the rest of the NBA are shutting up and dribbling when it comes to calling out injustices in another country. Won't do it here. You're going to talk that shit here. And I remember I wasn't upset by the Laura Ingraham comment, what she said to LeBron, because when LeBron made it political, when he started endorsing Hillary, he put himself in a different lane. And I do believe that some conservatives are hypocrites when they when they pick and choose what celebrity they want to talk about politics or not. I admit I can kind of say I have that bias too. Like, we're used to liberals preaching to us, trying to use their art and their content to deliver us this bullshit messages and whatnot, and it's like annoying to me. So it does seem refreshing when you see somebody go against the grain on the opposite end of the spectrum, talking that other shit. I admit there's a bias there for me too. But Laura Ingraham told LeBron to shut up and dribble, which was something, I think it got blown out of proportion. But when LeBron opened his mouth and said that the people of Ohio who voted for Trump were uneducated and yada yada yada, I'm like, well, wait up, man. You went straight from high school to the NBA. You shouldn't say that about people in your own state. Like, you opened doors for criticism when you said that. It's okay and acceptable for people to claim that because a person voted for their interests or whatever, they voted for who they exercise their right, regardless of how you feel the candidate they chose. You said that person's uneducated because they just didn't support your liberal bullshit policies. But LeBron isn't the brightest guy in the gym. High school to the NBA, very successful, makes a lot of money. That's not an issue. But when it comes to being informed and being intelligent and knowing things, I don't think it was fair for him to say that about people in his own state, simply because they voted not the way you wanted them to vote. He was just repeating the Democratic talking point, which is standard. But when he did that, he opened himself up to the criticism that Laura Ingraham gave him, right? But that's really it. LeBron is being a hypocrite. The entire NBA is being a little bitch. They're being punked by China, but it's not that deep. It's just simply about the dollars. It's about the money. They don't want to mess up this future deal with China. And China is quick to pull out. They tip out and cancel you and go buy another one. It's just that simple. China doesn't need the NBA over there. They have their own market, right? Like, it's cost beneficial for players in America to go over there and play. Like, China don't need the NBA. The NBA needs China. Bars. Right? So, of course, James Harden's comments and LeBron, who's supposed to be the ambassador of the NBA, you know what I mean? Like, Steph Curry, he's spoken a lot about the injustices and how much he don't mess with Trump, but he's like the quintessential Christian athlete. How does he feel about China's atheism and, closing down churches and persecuting Christians? You would think that he would have something to say about that over there. Nah, quiet as a mouse. And I think when you've played your cards like this, it makes it easy for people to be dismissive about your arguments, even when they're valid. Right? But when you've played this card that the NBA is playing right now, nobody's going to take you seriously when it comes to social justice issues anymore. Because you clearly, there's no defending LeBron in this situation. You can say he's being about his money and all that, but I'm saying there's no argument in defense of what he did. What he did is what he did. And it's wrong. Right? Be consistent at least. Or just shut the fuck up. That's simply what I would have done. I'm like, I have no comment. I have nothing to say here. I would say I'm not educated. Instead of attacking the dude, the GM who said what he said, I would say I'm not educated enough on the issue to speak the same way he did about Tamar Rice. He said he wasn't educated enough. He didn't know too much of the details, and he was going to speak on those things. He should have came out with that statement as opposed to, we love China and China's great and they're just good and we want to make some money over there, man, and blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm out. Tell me what you think. How do you feel about these athletes who, particularly the NBA, who act all brave and tough and saying we wouldn't go for what went on in the NBA, which the NBA is way more fair, I think, to their employees than the NFL. They have guaranteed contracts. Their negotiations are a lot better. Absolutely, 100%. But on this issue, it seems that Adam Silver, whoever is the muhaha motherfucker in the NBA, done set down the message, cease and desist, do not critique or criticize China, and if you're asked questions about what's going on over there, SUTF, or spin. And that's what we've seen so far. All right, that's my video. I'm at